And welcome to a new year of the Bulloch Sports Report. I'm Josh Aubrey. Plenty to get to in this week's show. A lot of basketball action to get to. The Georgia Southern football team, first of all, coming off their bowl victory the end of last month as they went down to Birmingham and took care of business, knocking off Appalachian State 29-10 in winning their first bowl game under head coach Clay Helton. The basketball teams at Georgia Southern, meanwhile, are red hot. The men have won 9 in a row. They're currently in first place in the Sun Belt standings with a record of 4-0. The women, hot on their heels, 4-1 in conference play and coming off a big victory this week against JMU. We'll send you out for some highlights of that. Hear from head coach Hana Hayden, and we'll also hear from Georgia Southern men's basketball head coach Charlie Henry as well. On the high school basketball front, we've got a couple of teams here in Bulloch County that are both 10-1. The Statesboro Blue Devil boys and the Portal boys. We'll send you out for some action over at Statesboro High. The Blue Devils taking on Bulloch Academy and Jenkins County recently. They'll be in action later on in the week on the road at Effingham County. And the Portal Panthers will be hosting Savannah High, last year's state champions in their classification, coming up on Friday night. Plenty to get to coming up on the Bulloch Sports Report. And a reminder before we go to break, hopefully you'll never be in an accident, but if so, please give our friends at the Sullivan Law Firm a call, 912-489-8888, or online at thesullivanlawfirm.com. Northside Drive behind Remax Eagle Creek Realty.
Pojo's Country Store is proud to support all Bulloch County and surrounding area athletics. We've been fueling up for almost 20 years, with 3 locations in Statesboro and locations in Sylvania, Wadley, and Bagsley. Pojo's Country Stores is the real MVP. And a special shout out to our Bulloch Academy Gators. Go get them.
Well, the Georgia Southern football team ended the 2025 season on a positive note, winning their 7th game of the season. The men's and women's basketball teams both enter the 2026 campaign on fire. The guys have won 9 in a row and are 4-0 in Sun Belt play. We had a chance to talk with Georgia Southern men's basketball head coach Charlie Henry about how things have been going.
Yeah, no, it's been a really fun team to coach. Obviously our 9 in a row was preceded by a rough stretch, but I think the rough stretch really caused us to look inward, pull together, and just address things like the things we got to get better at, the things we got to do to have success, and our guys have really bought into it. So, and as you win, you gain confidence. So it's a really confident group right now. They really enjoy playing together. They play for each other. So all in all, just an exciting time, and obviously we're looking forward to the challenges ahead. Starting with the first 2 conference games being at home, obviously that second one, being able to, beat JMU, who was picked to win our league in a really hard-fought overtime game before Christmas, and then carrying that momentum into our first road trip of Sun Belt play. So it's great to get off to a good start. We weren't able to do that last year, and it was really hard to kind of climb ourselves out of the hole we kind of dug initially at the start of Sun Belt play. So now we got the flip side. I'll say that, with that being said, now we're going to get everybody's best shot. Obviously South Alabama, they shared the regular season last year. They're really good. Coach Riley does an unbelievable job. They're coming in 2-2 after 2 really tough, hard-fought losses. So we know they're going to be really desperate, and obviously we got to match that. Yeah, it's definitely a veteran group. You said poised, definitely a poised veteran group. We have guys that have played a lot of college games, so the moment doesn't really get too big for them. They don't get rattled. I probably get a little bit more worked up than they do, but they really do a great job keeping their heads, staying together. Now, we're trying to identify how we can, increase our margins to where you don't want to be coming down to the final possession on every game. Obviously, I think good teams, really good teams, impose their will over 40 minutes. So still trying to get better, attack each day, try to get better. But it really is a group that does keep their head and shows a lot of poise in those close games.
Like you said, we on a 9-game winning streak. We playing pretty good. We trying not to get caught up in that. You know what I'm saying? The goal when we came here in June, the goal wasn't to win 9 in a row. It's something we're trying to win something way bigger than that. So I mean, it's been fun, it's been cool, but it's just residue from what we trying to get to and do. If you look back at the beginning of the season, it was we kind of hit our rock bottom early, which was actually good for us. And now you look at it now, we turned it up pretty perfect. I think we rock and rolling, got a good rhythm going. So I think it's been perfect for us, and understand that winning is hard, and we strive and reach for that every day.
The Eagles with a big matchup coming up on Saturday at 1 o'clock on the road at South Alabama, that game on ESPNU. As for the women, they'll be in action Saturday afternoon as well. This week they were also at the Hill taking on James Madison, where they were able to pull off a big victory. I'll send you out for some highlights and then hear from head coach Hana Hayden. The Georgia Southern women at the Hill taking on one of the top teams in the league, James Madison, picking up the action in the first half. Keisha Anderson gets this one to fall. Next, it's Anderson pulling up from the free throw line for 2 more of her game-high 26 points. More from Anderson, this time driving, hitting the tough shot in the lane. And then Anderson showing off the moves here, getting this one to go with the left hand. The Eagles working the ball around nicely, and they'd finish things off as Shantae Simmons hits for the hoop and the foul. Georgia Southern up by 6. The pull-up jumper from Destiny Garrett. She'd have 21 points in the game. Georgia Southern up 35-27 at the half. We move over to the third quarter. Coach Hana Hayden looking for more, and they'd get it. Outside they go. Destiny Garrett hits the 3. And then the nice pull-up jumper on the near side coming up from McKenna Eddings. JMU hanging around as they'd work the ball inside to Brianna McLeod, but the Eagles in control. A nice drive and friendly roll from Garrett as they'd win 78-70.
I was just speechless about how proud I am of our team. This is such a fun group to coach every single day, and it's like these games you look forward to these big opportunities playing a team like JMU, and just the tradition that they have there and all of their success. So it's a huge a huge challenge for us, and our players responded. I feel like in every way we really gutted it out. The two teams contrast each other so much to where our strengths are their weaknesses and vice versa. We knew the rebounding was going to be really, really tough, and to be able to win the game, even though we got beat just by a few rebounds, but I thought we just really we just really toughed things out and made a lot of really timely plays, especially down the stretch. And I think these two would probably agree with me. We felt like we had one that we could have sealed last week, and you never want to lose the lesson in those moments. And so whenever you can then pull out another close game down the stretch with some adversity and things like that, that just shows a lot of growth in this group, and just really proud of them.
And stay with us, high school action coming up next. Gerard Pre-Owned of Statesboro voted best place to buy a pre-owned vehicle 12 years running. 3 decades of experience in serving our community. Locally owned and operated, every vehicle undergoes rigorous multi-point inspections and thorough reconditioning. Flexible financing for all credit types, whether you're starting fresh or building credit, they've got you covered. Experience the Gerard difference today. 2330 Northside Drive West in Statesboro. The Bulloch Sports Report is brought to you in part thanks to Morris Bank, proud sponsor of our Player of the Week segment. Gerard Pre-Owned of Statesboro voted best place to buy a pre-owned vehicle 12 years running. 3 decades of experience in serving our community. Locally owned and operated, every vehicle undergoes rigorous multi-point inspections and thorough reconditioning. Flexible financing for all credit types, whether you're starting fresh or building credit, they've got you covered. Experience the Girard difference today. 2330 Northside Drive West in Statesboro. The Bulloch Sports Report is brought to you in part thanks to Morris Bank, proud sponsor of our Player of the Week segment. Well, the Statesboro Blue Devils were hosting their annual Gentlemen's Classic. They played Southeast Bulloch, Bulloch Academy, and Jenkins County. Let's send you out for some highlights from Bulloch Academy and the Jenkins County games. A rare high school basketball matchup between the Bulloch Academy Gators and the Statesboro Blue Devils. We picked things up in the first half, and the Blue Devils hitting the glass. Charles Harris inside, following up his own miss and cleaning it up with the bucket here. On the other end, the Gators hanging around, and it's outside. J.B. Roach knocking this one down. On the other end, Jacaden Cone going strong to the basket for the hoop and the foul. The Gators right back. Roach fires the three. It's off the mark, but A.K. Watkins there for the rebound and the putback. Later, Watkins getting the friendly roll for the Gators, pulling them to within 2 points. Zakarian Griffin then coming up with the steal. He goes all the way in for the layup. Statesboro up by 1 at this point. Cone driving, getting 2 more. And then another steal. Cone's going to throw this one down with the one-handed flush. The Gators not giving up, though. They'll get the bucket from outside here from Landon Mitchell. Statesboro answers as Brian Cello starts to heat up. He gets the three-pointer to go here. And then Cello off the steal, driving through traffic and finishing with the left hand. And then more from Cello, another steal. And then he hits the three from the corner. The Blue Devils would take a 15-point halftime lead in the second half. J.B. Roach dialing it up from outside, another three. But from there, it was all Statesboro. Cello driving, hitting the mid-range jumper. Next on the break, easy bucket inside from Andrew Tuff. And then another steal. Cello spots up and knocks down the three. And another one. This time, Chase McCullough finishing with the left hand. Blue Devils hit the century mark, winning 100-38. Statesboro wrapping up the Gentlemen's Classic against Jenkins County off the inbounds. Beckham Girard knocks down the three, and then inside, Girard with a nice finish. Later, Tuff inside with the rebound and putback. Then the Blue Devils working the ball around nicely. Griffin will bury the three-pointer. But Jenkins County came to play in the first half at least. The bucket and the foul, they'd end up with a 10-point halftime lead. But in the second half, the starters for Statesboro reinserted into the lineup. Jacaden Cone answers with the bucket and the foul, and then the steal ahead to Brian Cello. And then Cello in traffic, spins, hits this floater. Cone continuing to be a force, driving, pulling up, knocking this one down. He'd end up with 28 points in limited minutes. Here driving in for the basket, and then Cone going coast to coast. As Statesboro wins by a final score of 70-60. And that's going to wrap it up for this week's show. We thank you for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.